In today's video, I want to review what I consider to be 3 traits to contribute toward a functional and worthwhile raiding user interface in World of Warcraft: visibility, access to information, and audio cues. These 3 traits are not the only important aspects of a UI, but I want to break down why I think they're so important to any raider's success, and why they help me succeed in the PvE landscape of the game. Visibility. When it comes to PvE in WoW, there's nothing more challenging in the raiding scene than a mythic raid encounter. With the advent of the Race to World First and Battle for Azeroth, thousands of players across the world have been introduced to a plethora of raiding UIs. And while some are regarded as clean, practical windows into a raider's point of view, other UIs leave a lot to be desired. There's nothing worse than seeing a cluttered, unorganized mess on someone's screen, regardless of how well they're playing. The blessing and the curse of UIs is that if you're comfortable and familiar with what you're looking at, you can make it work. But that doesn't mean it can't be improved upon. When it comes to visibility, being able to see not only what is directly under your character's feet, but what's also beside him and what's off in the distance can be, and often is, equally important, if not more so. Often there are projectiles moving toward you on the ground or through the air, and, well, really the last thing you want to happen is being caught off guard due to a UI element blocking your view. Opening your UI up and keeping the non-essential bits and pieces off to the side or in the corners of your screen can do you wonders. The average player does not need to know when every defensive cooldown is available for your raid team, or how long your sated debuff has until it's run its course. And who needs or wants a tooltip popping up in the middle of combat? Keeping your character in view and your eyes free from obstruction will do you wonders. So, if you find that the middle of your screen is cluttered or your character is covered with a UI element at some point in time, consider making an adjustment. Access to information. We've all been in the middle of a boss encounter when, seemingly out of the blue, we're surprised by an ability or an enormous spike in incoming damage. We think to ourselves, possibly even from the comfort of the floor, "What on earth just happened? I thought I had everything under control." Well, you missed the memo and you died to a scripted mechanic because you weren't able to see what was unfolding in front of your very own eyes. For shame. Don't worry, like I said, we've all been there. Having instant access to information in the middle of a boss fight is paramount to a raider's performance, and oftentimes to his survival too. For me, access of information comes in 2 forms: a boss mod, such as bigwigs or deadly boss mods. In that add-on, whichever boss mod you choose, is then complemented by a weak aura pack. Mythic N'Zoth is a great example of this, as there are a handful of weak aura packs that paint a perfect picture of what is occurring at any given moment. Either way, at bare minimum, a boss mod can keep you informed throughout the entirety of an encounter to ensure you know exactly what's about to transpire moment to moment. You know when you need to pop a personal, a raid defensive cooldown, when to hold or when to use your DPS cooldowns, and so on and so forth. Beyond that, however, access of information can also be something as simple as having your health bar more centrally located on your screen, or even using a weak aura to showcase the total amount of absorption you have applied to it at any given moment in time. When it comes to Mythic Plus, having a weak aura track your group's available interrupts or stuns can literally mean the difference between life and death on a pull-by-pull basis. Information is king in most areas of life, and that's certainly true in WoW. So if you find yourself in a state of confusion or not understanding something while playing the game, look for a better way to relay information to your eyeballs. Your group or raid will definitely thank you for becoming a better player. Audio cues. This actually ties directly into access of information because all an audio cue does at base level is alert you by means of using a different sense, hearing instead of seeing. The add-on GTFO does this beautifully, albeit somewhat annoyingly so, but that's kind of the point. An audio cue should grab your attention and alert you to something whose importance supersedes nearly everything else. Are you standing in a deadly mechanic? Did your trinket or essence just proc? Bum, bum. You get the picture. I'm imitating sounds that you often find in weak auras. An audio cue is generally reserved for something that you consider second nature. You don't need a giant flashing image to tell you to move out of the fire on the ground, because the fire itself, your waning hit points, and your audio cue screaming at you to move is typically more than enough. I find audio cues to be complementary more than front and center, and I feel that's how they work best. I even have certain audio cues that I've recorded for myself, and in a future video, I'll show you how you too can record and use any sound of your choosing to help you play the game to a greater degree. These are just a few traits that help a player improve their gameplay, and that help a UI transition from being acceptable to exceptional. Remember, a user interface should help you succeed at whatever you're doing in-game. There's always room for improvement too. Constantly seek out better weak auras and keep your add-ons up to date more often than not. This helps you take advantage of improvements and quality of life changes. I would love to know what traits you look for in a raiding UI or in any other area of the game you spend your time in. Let me know in the comments below. And of course, you know the drill. Subscribe, like, share, and as always, live well, be well, do well, and I'll see you in the next video.